Historically, it was originally called Decoration Day in 1868. Of course, happened after the Civil War, originally called Decoration Day, and the whole purpose of that was to honor the soldiers, sailors, airmen, well, of course not airmen back then, Marines and Coast Guardsmen. And what happened on that day, they also traditionally did the last Monday of May, was to go and decorate the graves of those who've been killed in action and died in service as well. Then throughout the years, about the 1880s, it started morphing into a Memorial Day. Then actually it was really called Decoration Day on and off and Memorial Day on and off until really after World War II. After World War II, the name Memorial Day stuck. It wasn't until 1968 that President Johnson actually signed the law making Memorial Day the official recognition day, which would be in the last Monday in May. In 1971, it became official, so now it's called Memorial Day. It's always held on the last Monday in May, and is specifically designed as a very quiet day to recognize soldiers, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Marines that have been particularly killed in action, and those who've died in service as well. The preservation of our history, of our service to our country since World War I is vitally important here. It is a constant search. Basically, the question is asked now is, who are you and where are you? The information of our killed in action, those who've served, our wounded in action. Right now, for instance, take World War I. We have 7 identified and confirmed killed in action in World War I thus far. But we only have 2 identified and verified Purple Hearts from World War I. The rule of thumb is KIA times 2, so we should have really about anywhere between 10 to 15 total wounded in action. The preservation of our history, this is the only place in the world where Creek veterans can be recognized, and this specifically, it's our building. It's here to honor our Creek veterans throughout. So it is a constant search to make sure that we get the information and retain it. For instance, when we save it here, we have it on 4 different sources. Have it on computer, then we have 3 backup sources, and 2 of those sources are outside. So say something happened here and the place burned down, we have other places where we store the data off campus, so it's all retrievable. We'll never lose this information again, ever, Jason. It's taken a long time. The center court, where we're doing the center court as well, we're getting a new type of plaque in here. These plaques now are starting to fade out. So we redesigned, Sean redesigned some new plaques, so we're getting new plaques in here. And what's interesting, Jason, we've had great-grandchildren come in here and look at their ancestors that fought and were killed in World War I. And it's fascinating. Again, this place it's quiet all the time here on purpose. And it's designed that way. Like, for instance, celebration of Memorial Day, that is a very quiet day of remembrance. It's every year our honor guard. I love the way our Muscogee Creek Nation honor guards recognizes Memorial Day. They quietly go out to the main flagpoles. They say a prayer. They do the proper salutes and lower our flags at half mast. So yeah, it's beautiful in here, and it's such history. It is truly the blood, sweat, and tears of our tribe. You know, Jason, what everybody, I'm sure, knows, our tribe has fought against the United States. We have fought for the United States. Now we fight with our United States. So historically, we've been the whole way. We've been the whole way. So it's interesting, and that can be tied in directly to what's happening now. I said, just recently, last Sunday, and on Mother's Day, 6 of us Marines, World War II, Mr. Harley, Korea, Mr. Gooden, Vietnam, Mr. Taylor, Kuwait, myself, Iraq, Mr. Mvskoke, and Afghanistan, Mr. Cody Dyer. We all assembled here at 0700. We drove down to Norman, Oklahoma, and witnessed something it was great. Witnessed John Bates getting commissioned as a 2nd Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. And John worked here for about 8 months. And so John knows the history of our tribe militarily. And to see John, that fine young man, become a 2nd Lieutenant in the Marine Corps, there is a huge sense of pride that we have in him. He has a lot to carry forth, and it's things like that you know it's resonating with our young people because they know what's expected of them.
Well, it's for you, it's got to be nice to know the future's in good hands.
It is, and unfortunately, as of now, not many of our young men and women are getting commissioned as officers in the military, albeit Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, or Coast Guard, and that needs to change. It's our time to step forward in the leadership roles. And again, if John was ecstatic, I can guarantee you we were twice as ecstatic, and just a huge sense of pride, especially to see the World War II veteran, Mr. Harley, talk to him and to see the history, because quite frankly, I mean, Mr. Harley's old enough to be his great-grandfather, and he was down here, 93 years old, and he drove all the way down from Wisconsin to be here.